Hi, everybody. I am starting my first podcast, I guess is what you would call this, that I am calling K-God, and it is all God all the time, miracles from spirit. And I want to talk about a couple miracles that have happened in my life. And the format of this is going to be that I'm going to be interviewing people that have had miracles from spirit in their life. So here's what's happened to me in my life that was really, really incredible and has definitely altered and shaped the course of my life. So in 1996, I lived in Hawaii and I was studying martial arts that was called Aikido. A very beautiful art that was a combination of being more offensive than, actually being more defensive than offensive. So I met this woman named Maureen O'Shaughnessy. And Maureen said that she had just become a Reiki master. And I was like, oh, Reiki, is that anything like Aikido? And she said, yes, ki energy is like the life force of the universe. And so I was just really, really fascinated. And I said, you know, I want to take the class. And she said, you'll be attuned to a Reiki treatment. So we did this class. It was over several days. It was at her apartment. Maureen was a Reiki master. There was a girl by the name of Tara in there, and her boyfriend Mark was with us as well. So there were three of us. And on the final day, after receiving the attunements and learning the symbols and practicing them, I was lying on the Reiki table, and Maureen was on my right. Mark was on my left. Both of their hands were on my body in some of the hand positions. And Tara was at my head with her hands around my throat. And the lights in the room started flashing, I kid you not, and flickering. And I found my body like spasming out, like I was having convulsions. And I kept trying to say something. And all of a sudden, out of 10 o'clock in the sky, this golden beam of light comes and hits me in my third eye. And the word Hathor comes flying out of my lips. And then I see this symbol, and it looks like a sun disk with a cow's horn on either side. And I sit up off the table and I say, can someone please get me a pen and a paper? And my girlfriend Maureen gets me a pen and a paper, and the word I write down is Hathor, Hathor. And the symbol that I draw is it's a round disc with like horns that arch out on either side, and then a base. And I look around the room, this is 1996, and I say, does anyone know who or what a Hathor is? Anyway, the next, you know, we didn't have the internet, we didn't have cell phones, we didn't have anything like that. So my girlfriend Tara and I the next day went to Barnes & Noble, and we asked them who Hathor was, and they said that she was the ancient Egyptian goddess of women. And I then started having the craziest past life memories of being one of the priestesses at her temples in Egypt back in the day. It was just extraordinary, like being flooded with past life memories. And I remember being, 11 years old, and my mom giving me a copy of Edgar Cayce's book, The Sleeping Prophet, about how he would go deeply into a trance and he would start to read the Akashic records. And he would tell people about their past lives, and he would help them heal from trauma that they would have based on, what had happened. So that had always been fascinating to me. And here I was having this crazy connection to this goddess, basically known as Hathor. So then it's the next miracle from spirit for me that was quite extraordinary was I went to Israel. There was a group of 22 of us. We were part of the Kabbalah Center. And it was the very first day. God, it was probably like 113 degrees. We were in Israel in July and August. And women had to dress, we had to be covered. And you couldn't step on a gravestone, and you couldn't look men in the eye. There were all these rules that they had. But the thing that I remember is all of my friends were walking over to this gravestone, and they were painted this incredible color of blue, kind of like, here, this candle, like this shade of blue, which has become one of my favorite shades of blue. I call it Athena blue. And so I'm the last person to amble over from the bus to everybody touching this gravestone. And I put my hands on this gravestone, and I have this second most extraordinary experience where this golden shaft of light, like this huge diameter, comes down and circles over me. My eyes are closed and I go into an altered state, and the being inside of the grave starts talking to me. And he says, "Welcome home, beloved. Your father is waiting for you." Now, I've been meditating for years, since I was very young. And in my meditations, there was this being by the name of Avram who used to come to me. And he looked like the actor David Strathern. And we would meet in this stone pyramid, and there would be this huge stone slab table, and he would unroll these huge like ciphers. They look like huge white parchment, and it would unfurl in these meditations that I would have with him. And these symbols would come into my third eye, and it turns out that they were light language and sacred geometry. So the being in the grave, we're talking telepathically, and he says to me, "Your father is waiting for you." And I said to him telepathically, "My father?" And he said, "Abraham." And I said, "Abraham?" And he said, "You know him as Avram." And Abraham, the patriarch, the next step from the Mount of Olives we were heading to, the next place we were heading to was Hebron, not Hebron, the castle where Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob are buried. Maybe it is Hebron. Anyway, so we get in the bus and we drive over there, and I stood in front of this, where Abraham is actually buried, and I just started weeping, and I had these memories of being his daughter, and I was from the third wife that he had, and my name was Sarah, and I was named after his first wife. And anyway, it was just a really, really crazy, extraordinary experience. And then after that, that was in the summer of 2009. Later that year, I was visiting with my best friend Veronica, and it was just the two of us. We were in this house way up in the hills in San Francisco. And I said, "Veronica, like, I had the feeling that there was someone that wanted to communicate with her." And I said, "I have a message for you." And all these messages started coming through. There was a doctor that she had worked with, and he had passed away. He was down in Mexico with his family in Puerto Vallarta, and he went to save his son from the undertow, and he saved his son, but he himself drowned. And anyway, he came through and he started talking through me to her. And she said to me, "I didn't know you were a medium." And I said, "Neither did I." But that ability opened up for me in 2009 with the touching of that gravestone. By the way, the grave was of a being, he's known as one of the Sadiq, or the Sadiqim, one of the holy men of Kabbalah. His name is the Rabbi Shalom Sharabi, and he's known as the Rashash. And what it says on his gravestone is something to the effect of, "Those who come pure of heart, I will speak with thee." And I was blessed with that incredible miracle from Spirit of having him speak with me. And that opened up my mediumship abilities. That was really, really extraordinary. Then one of the other things that happened that was really, really fascinating was in 2017, I started doing a meditation group. And in the meditation group, I'm deeply in the meditation, and this being shows up, and she says, "I am Pallas Athena. Will you come with me?" And I knew that Pallas Athena was the daughter of Zeus, and I thought, okay, like, how do you say no to the daughter of Zeus? So I went with her, and she took me under the ocean, and she showed me the civilization. She said, "This is what's left of Atlantis." And she told me that I was one of her oracles, and that I used to speak on her behalf when I had lifetimes in Atlantis. And that led me to channeling. So I was fascinated with everything to do with past lives, and all that opened up for me in that experience with Hathor. And then I was really fascinated with everything to do with mediumship, and have been developing that in that experience in Israel. And then Athena shows up, and I reach out to one of my dear girlfriends. Her name is Wendy, and Wendy has been, Wendy's been a full body trance channel, I think, to over 25 years now. And for the past 14 years, she's been working with Archangel Metatron, which has been really fascinating. So I reach out to Wendy and I'm like, oh my God, you'll never guess what happened. All of a sudden, Pallas Athena came to me, and Wendy said, do you want to get trained to channel her? And I was like, absolutely not. I've seen the movie Ghost. I saw what happened to Whoopi Goldberg when that guy hopped into her body and he's like, what do you do to your hair? And I was like, there's no way I'm doing anything like that. And she's like, well, it's not exactly like that. She said, do you trust me? And I said, yeah, I do. So I started doing one-on-one training with her. And that was in, that was in like the summer of 2017. And so I did level 1 channeling training with her, level 2, I did advanced training. And since then, in the Sohmalife sanctuary that I opened for business, we're coming up on our 3-year anniversary. We've probably had over 60 people trained here at the sanctuary. And the thing that Metatron always said is that channeling training is a shortcut to spiritual transformation. I can't tell you what an incredible journey this has been for me. This journey of feeling like I've had miracles in my life that have directly come from spirit. And I was a licensed stockbroker, a registered investment advisor. I worked for the 2 largest banking and financial institutions, working in their private bank. And I walked this very narrow path where I was literally told by my bosses, you can't tell anyone what you do. You can't tell anyone you're a psychic. You can't tell anyone you're a medium. You can't tell anyone that you channel. And so I have always kept my abilities and my gifts and my skills hidden. I became a yoga teacher, and yoga was safe. But, you know, there was so much more to yoga to me than just the poses. Yoga took me on a journey back to lifetimes that I had when I was in India. So what I've decided is I am rebranding and relaunching myself to let everyone know that I am a healer and a teacher and a mentor, that I have a series of 6 psychic healing tools that I teach to people to help them. I'm calling myself a transformational alchemist. I've owned that web domain since 2008. And I actually have a group here on Facebook that's called Transformational Alchemy. And what I do is an alchemist helps to transform people's lead, or helps to transform lead into gold. So as a spiritual alchemist and as a transformational alchemist, I help people transform their darkness into light. And I have, I counted them up, I have over 21 certificates from all the training that I've received over the years. And I've just decided to open my kimono to the world and let everybody know who I am and what it is that I do. So I'm really excited about this. I'm excited for the guests that I'm going to be having on my show. I'm excited about K-God, Spirit, Miracles from Spirit. That's what it's called. K-God, Miracles from Spirit. All God, all the time. I was always scared to let people know that I had such a precious relationship with Jesus. I've been studying the Course in Miracles, and oh my gosh, I've met some of the most extraordinary people in that adventure. But I've decided that I'm not afraid anymore. There is nothing that can happen to me. I walk in the light. I walk in love. Someone asked me the other day, like, what's a quote that we could say about you? And I said that giving someone your presence, giving someone your attention is one of the greatest acts of love, and it is literally the foundation of healing. Because when you can put your attention and bring your presence to someone, and you can help them to feel their pain, it allows them to be freed from it, and that's the kind of work I do as a transformational alchemist. I'm really excited for this. I look forward to the future. I look forward to this rebranding, this launching, this stepping off into spirit, hand in hand with this incredible team that I brought together. So if any of you would like to come be a guest on the program, again, it's called K-God, Miracles from Spirit. If you have any miracles that you would like to share about your life, I would love, love, love to have you on the show. We're going to do it on a Zoom format. We're getting a podcast created, but I promised myself that June 1st was my launching day, and that's what I'm doing here today. So I'm sending so much love to all of you. Oh, by the way, I lead 3 meditations a week. I lead them on I lead them on Sundays at 11 a.m. I lead them on Tuesdays at 1 p.m. and I lead them on Thursdays at 7:30 p.m. Sometimes I do channeling. I channel Hathor, the goddess, the Egyptian goddess. I channel Athena. I channel Mother Mary, the mother of Jesus. I channel Mary Magdalene, the wife of Jesus, the mother of his children. I channel Archangel Michael, and I've also had the blessing of being able to channel Sanat Kumara, who is the logos for our galaxy. He is the being that has been designated to be in charge. And, I'm open to whoever it is else that decides to come through me, as I am of service to Spirit. I have many tools and techniques to help you in your transformation and in your ascension. My website is transformationalalchemy.com, or you can find me on LynnLaBorde.com. The activities page and all of the events that we do is Sohmalife.com. They all come through the same place. And I want to give a shout out to the people that have been a huge part of this journey for me. Christine Ferraro, who has been a dear friend of mine for many, many years, who knows me better than most. James Bazakos, who has been a beloved soul, so dear to me. We launched Soma together 3 years ago, and he has been one of the most profound beings in my transformation. To Dylan Stewart, who has been just Dylan. He's so extraordinary. He's an incredible coach. To Carolyn Nico, who has helped me with all of my artwork. And I really want to thank my family and my friends for all of their love and support. To all of we've had over 700 students that have come here through the Sohmalife Sanctuary. Over 50 different teachers. We have a Psychic Development Academy that we run here, and tonight's the graduation. This is the 3rd season that we've done this. And Daniela Natra, Brad Fristensky, Sarah Curley, and Joseph Dyro have been my beloved partners in that journey, and it's really been amazing. And just for each of you that have been a part of my soul's journey in my tender 58 years of walking on planet Earth, I say thank you. Thank you to my Aunt Jane, to my sister Pam, my brother John, and to all of my family and friends. I love you, and I'm so excited for what is to come. Thank you so much for joining me for the first of many of Being Live with K-God, Miracles from Spirit. All God, all the time. Much love, and I'll see you guys soon.